Hi everyone. It's taken me a while to get this set up. There's probably some stuff you can see that's out in the edges, but it's the best I can do with the equipment that I have. Okay, so more proof I'm not a videographer. Today I'm going to show you how to use your drill. We've already talked about power tool safety. I've got my glasses on. I've got my hair pulled back. I didn't mention this earlier. Closed-toe shoes, no flip-flops, sandals. That's not what you wear to do this type of work. I'm going to forgo hearing protection because this drill is actually not very loud. I don't need a dust mask for this short little demonstration, and you wouldn't be able to hear me as well. So that's pretty much it. This is a pretty safe thing that we're going to be doing today. Okay, so we did my safety review. I'm going to be drilling into wood. I have here a piece of wood. This is a 1x6. So, interesting thing about construction lumber, 1x6 is not 1x6. It's 3/4 of an inch by 5.5. 2x4, which is very common, it is 1.5 inches by 3.5, and a 1x4 would be 3/4 of an inch wide, 3.5 inches wide this way, deep, however you want to phrase that term. So, that's just a little aside about wood. Since we're going to be drilling into wood, I'm going to use a standard twist bit. So, I'm going to take the battery out while I'm talking about this. If you recall from, sometimes these are hard to crack. If you recall from the video I did on choosing a drill bit, this is a standard twist bit. It happens to be made from high-speed steel. I think it might have a titanium coating, but this is just something that you get off the shelf at your local hardware store. It's not a specialty tool in any way. The diameter of this drill is 3/8 of an inch. It says so on the shank. You'll just have to trust me on that one. Okay, so I'm going to put the bit into the drill. So remember, this is the chuck. This is where the bit is held. I'm going to loosen that until I can fit that in there. And then I'm going to tighten it. So I have one hand on this black one hand on this silver, and I'm tightening it so it's in good and firm. So I have my bit in place. I'm going to set my drill on the picture of the drill. If you have a different style, you might need to put the switch to the picture of the drill. Since I'm drilling, that's where I want it to be. Remember from my setting video, this rotates around. So I want it all the way till the arrow is pointing to that little graphic. I want to make sure that my drill is going to spin clockwise. So I'm going to press on this little button. I'm going to press on the side that has the arrow pointing to the front so that it's going forward. Press that in. Since I'm drilling, this has a gear shift, if you recall from my other video. So I'm going to put this on 2, so it's high speed. All drills like to go fast, and they just drill better holes. Then I'm going to put my battery in. So now we're ready to go. So my drill is all set. I'm prepared from a safety standpoint. My drill is set. I've chosen the tool, the right diameter. Now I'm a fan of clamping my work down, especially if you're just using a drill for the first time. As you get more comfortable with your tools, you'll be able to take some shortcuts. Some of them are less safe than others. But drilling with one hand and holding the material with your free hand is not necessarily unsafe. I just don't want you to do it when you're first starting out, simply because I want you to get comfortable with the skill and how your tool works and how you work, and then you can decide whether or not you want to forego clamping. We're going to clamp this piece of material down. I'm going to just show you some drilling techniques. When you're drilling a hole, you're going to find the location. You're going to go ahead and put the center of the bit in the location where you want the hole. You want your drill to actually be touching the material. This is different than when we're using a saw, which I'll explain later in another video. Okay, so my drill is touching my material. Now with my free hand, you might be inclined to grab this here. I'm going to recommend you don't. One, it's hard to keep it straight because you just tend to pull against yourself. Two, this could slip and then you could hurt yourself. So I want your free hand to be up here with the palm of your hand on the back of the drill. And the nice thing about that is it gives you a little more stability and the ability to put pressure down. Because then you're going to get a better, and you can do a steady, firm pressure down, and then your drill will go through the material nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and drill this hole. So I'm going to use my variable speed power switch. And remember, drills like to go fast. So there's no reason to mess around with this. You don't have to start out slowly. So I'm just going to fire it all the way up. Firm pressure down. When I break through the material, I can either just pull it straight up, or if I want to run the bit, I can, but I don't have to do it in reverse. So you don't need to switch it into reverse. Typically, you can just pull it straight out. So I'm going to unclamp the material. I'm going to shake off the dust here. And I do want to talk very briefly, I'm going to mention this in the other one, that when you're drilling holes, I had a nurse once who was a student who said, oh, it's like an exit wound. Graphic, but it sticks in your head. You want to drill from the good side of the wood. So say I have a painted side and my other side is not going to be painted, or this side's stained and that's not going to be stained. Well, I don't want to chip out the side that is going to be visible. So that's the side I want to drill from, because I'm going to get, this says save, I'm using a piece of wood that my husband had saved. I cleared it with him. But I'm going to walk up to the camera here, and I just want to show you how on this side we have some chipping out of the wood. But on the quote-unquote good side, we do not. So I drilled a hole previously. So it's as simple as that to drill a hole. I suggest you practice on some scrap wood until you get comfortable. You don't want to ruin your project by making a mistake. I talked about, well, when you're holding it like this, you want to always make sure that your drill is perpendicular to the wood. Some drills do come with little levels on them. You can use them. This one has one on the back where I can try and center the bubble in the hole, but I say trust yourself. You can sort of visually see. The reason I don't necessarily care for these, they're nice little features to sell you, but a level is a precision tool. To put it on a tool that gets tossed on a shelf or in a toolbox, eventually that is going to lose its accuracy. So use it or not, it's not a big deal. That's how to drill a hole into wood. My next video is going to be showing you how to drill a hole into a brick. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody.